Hello, my name is Adam Kaplan. Welcome to the Lunch and Learn. Today we have VeriFone and Bill Baldwin will be speaking. Bill has been at VeriFone for a long time and 17 years or so, and been in payments since he graduated. So this is all he knows. Bill, do you know anything else? I'm just questioning. Other than payments, what else do you do during the
Been
weekend?
doing payments since I was 16, but outside of that, I'm in the Army Reserve, so had a little bit of change.
All right. Out of you're still in Georgia?
I'm still in Georgia.
All right. All right. So this is our eighth month of the Lunch and Learns. Um, and getting bigger and bigger each time. So this month we have switched from Teams to Zoom. So we're just getting our hands around all the systems settings and everything like that. So um, we believe we have it set up right, but if you're having issues or anything, throw it into the chat and we will work on it. As for the muting function, I'm not sure we have that right. So just be just make sure to mute yourself. Everyone else should be auto muted, but we'll see. Um, Other than that, any other questions or follow-ups, just send us to us in the chat or email us afterwards. We are recording, and if you'd like to see that or the PowerPoint slides, we will send that out to you. Just let us know. We're not going to just send it to everybody. We will post that a version of that somewhere on our site as well, if you're interested in that. Other than that, Bill's going to go through all the VeriFone products. If you're unfamiliar with DC Supply, then how did you get on here? So, but we provide the VeriFone products, and we encrypt it in-house, and there's a lot of other products out there. You've seen them all over the place. So, they've got products that are, end of life. They've got new ones. He's going to go through all of them and some services. And then when we're done, a little Q&A, and then we'll go over some accessories that DCC has made for these products. All right, Bill, I'm going to close my video and hand it off to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bill Baldwin. I am a solution architect at VeriFone. Joining me on today's call is Peter Vaccaro, who leads our sales engineer team, and Jessica Bates, who's one of our sales managers. We are really excited to be able to come up here today and to present our solutions and payment services to all of you. And we want to thank our partners at DCCSupply for making this happen. Okay. The agenda for today is I'll do a brief corporate overview of VeriFone and kind of give you an idea of where we are today and what our leadership looks like and what our objectives are. And then I'll go into our current payment platforms and payment devices. We'll talk about the different types of software that runs on these devices. And then we'll talk about where we have certifications so that these devices can process transactions. And then at the end, we'll just do an open Q&A. Okay, I'm going to move through the slides pretty quick in the interest of time. So it might be best if we hold all the questions until the Q&A session. Okay, a little bit about VeriFone. Our current leadership is through Himanshu Patel. Himanshu joined us as CEO back in November of 2023. So he's fairly new to our organization, but he is an industry veteran and has been around for quite a long time with roles at Fiserv and JP Morgan prior to joining VeriFone. Okay. Himanshu, I think in the last few months has really brought his message has been that we want to strengthen our partnerships to be able to provide world-class payment solutions and services globally, right? So we want to work with all of you and everyone out there that we can to give merchants a great payment experience. VeriFone has been in the industry for over 40 years. We started building payment systems in the 1980s. Some of you who may have been around for a while may recognize, our devices in the field, but, the Trans 330 and the Trans 380, those were our, first payment platforms that we had out there. And they were pretty indestructible, right? They lasted for a very long time. We then moved into our VeriX platform, or our VX platform, where we brought new innovations in there. It was one of the first multi-application payment devices that were out in the market. And then we continue to evolve our payment systems and continue that tradition of quality and innovation with our new platforms that are based off of our Engage products and our Android products. Okay, VeriFone is a global company. We have offices in 70 countries around the world, or we do business in 165 companies. And through our systems, we run 14 billion transactions annually that come out to around $450 billion worth of transaction data. Okay. VeriFone is not just a hardware company. We provide a lot of services and solutions in addition to payment terminals. Okay. We also have, stretched out from the traditional card present channel to the card not present channel as well. So we can support e-com and other online forms of payment where card not present is dominant. Some features that we have within our platforms that of our interest to a lot of people is our tokenization products, right? So we can tokenize transactions. We're a token vault, and we can provide tokenization services. We have an APM platform that allows us to add non-traditional payment methods onto our devices, things like crypto and buy now, pay later programs. Okay, and then finally, the latest thing is that we have validated P2PE solutions. So if you're looking for a P2PE validated product, we have solutions across the board for that as well. Okay. Moving into our payment devices, okay, VeriFone hardware is built with quality and security in mind. We focus very highly on making our products as secure as possible, but we also want to make them to the best quality we possibly can. We meet all of the PCI and other industry security requirements, and we have one of the lowest failure rates on hardware in the industry. Right. And as a result, VeriFone is a brand that consumers recognize and trust. Okay. Okay, this is our existing portfolio of products. VeriFone has two different products lines. One of them is the what we call the Engage platform. This is our traditional payment platform that people have been using for years. It's just evolved onto new hardware. And then we also have an Android-based payment solution, which is driving our global payment acceptance applications. Okay. On the Engage side, we have portable terminals such as the V400M. These are devices that can sit on a countertop and be used as a countertop, but you can pick them up and move them around. Some of them have cell phone capabilities to where you could use them outside of a traditional brick and mortar area. The Android equivalent of the V400M on the Engage line is the T650P, right? It has the same use case as the V400M. It just runs the Android platform. Okay, we have several different countertop devices. The most popular of those is the V400C. Right? This one is just a straight up countertop device. It does IP or Wi-Fi connectivity, and it gives you your traditional standalone payment functionality. Okay. The Android equivalent of that is the T650C. Okay. I think the big difference between the Engage line and the Android line is the screens, right? The Android screens are much bigger, and they're all touch screens, whereas some of the traditional Engage products, have smaller screens and may not be touch screens. Okay. We have several different pin pad solutions that are available. Our most popular pin pad that we have out in the field for just a small pin pad device is the P400. But we also make, a variety of multi-lane devices. The M400 being one of the smaller multi-lane devices that you may see around. And then we have the bigger screen devices, which are the M440. The M440, has twice the screen real estate as the M400. So, depending on what a retailer wants, how big of a screen footprint they want, they'll use the M400 or the M440. VeriFone has a lot of unattended solutions, and our unattended solution architecture is designed to be modular. Right, so we have a different types of devices that can be combined in various ways to try to meet the type of unattended environment that we're trying to serve. Right, the needs of a customer who is trying to build like a vending machine versus a parking meter may be completely different. Right, so we have unattended devices that can be put together in various ways in order to be able to solve those use cases. Right, the UX 100 provides a keyboard if you need a keyboard. The 115 is basically a contactless reader and provides an NFC field. And then the UX 300 is the card reading, so it reads, MSR or EMV transactions if you want to, do inserts or swipes. And then the UX 410 is a step up from the UX 115 for accepting contactless payments, right? If you wanted to do a contactless only solution, you could use the UX 410. Okay, so VeriFone has a lot of different software and certifications with a lot of the players that are in the industry. Depending on the type of use case that you have, would choose which type of software that you wanted to load on the device. Okay, we have three basic software programs that VeriFone builds and certifies. Okay, our first is the external pin pad application. It's also known as XPI throughout the industry. XPI has been a workhorse for VeriFone for probably close to 20 years. So it's a software that's been out there, it's been evolved, it's used quite widely in the industry by a lot of different players. And its roadmap, is continued to be supported by VeriFone. XPI runs on our Engage platform, so any Engage devices that were on that previous hardware slide can be used with XPI to create a fully integrated system, right? And in a fully integrated system, this is a system where the pin pad is there as like a card entry device and a consumer-facing device and consumer interaction device. But it is providing data to a point of sale system, which is taking that data and communicating to a host processor somewhere. Okay, so we refer to that as a fully integrated solution. And in that model, the integrator actually takes and certifies their solution with our pin pad with that particular processor. We have a semi-integrated solution that we call the secure commerce architecture. SCA has been around now for probably 10 to 15 years. Okay, it runs on our Engage platform as well. So an Engage device can either run XPI or it can run SCA. In the advantage of running a semi-integrated application is that it descopes the POS system from some of their PCI requirements, right? So it doesn't provide any of the card data. It keeps everything secure, and that allows our customers to bring their systems out of scope or significantly reduce their PCI scope by using a semi-integrated solution. In that type of solution, VeriFone builds the software and VeriFone certifies it with whoever the processor is or whoever the endpoint would be. And it can run in two different operating modes. It can support the traditional standalone environment where you have your terminal on the countertop and the merchant's just performing transactions on the device, or it can operate in semi-integrated mode where there's a point of sale that's driving that particular transaction. In all cases, the device talks directly with the host, and no sensitive data is ever returned outside of the payment application, which is what allows it to descope some of the PCI stuff. And then finally, on our Android platform, we have built a global payment application that we call AGPA, the Android Global Payment Application. This is also a VeriFone built and certified solution. We certify it with all the different processors globally. It's very similar to SCA in that it runs our standalone devices, and it also runs in semi-integrated mode. Okay, but the AGPA, it only runs on our Android solutions. Right, so within our semi-integrated and standalone environment, VeriFone has two different approaches that we've taken to how we're going to process transactions. We've called these VeriFone Direct and VeriFone Flex. Okay? VeriFone Direct is your traditional payment platform where you have a device that's talking directly to a bank or an acquirer. In that case, the terminal is coded to the bank specifications. It calls directly into that particular bank, and it offers the services and transactions that are supplied or available through that particular bank or processing platform. Okay, we can run our devices in pin pad mode or in standalone mode or even in the unattended solution. Can all work in the traditional direct model. When we want to do extend the payment capabilities beyond what a processor might add, we have a framework that we can add onto the device where we can add alternate payment methods, right? These are your buy now, pay later programs, your crypto programs, or any sort of non-traditional type of payment method like a QR-based payment code um, application. And in this model, we build applets that run on the device, and instead of going directly to the processor, they route out through our cloud services, and we route them on to whichever backend that we need to send them to based on whatever the payment method is that's been chosen by the consumer. Okay. On the VeriFone Flex side, right? VeriFone Flex is our payment orchestration layer, right? The gateway is what sits in the middle of a number of different payment methods or devices, environments. We can do card not present, card present, and any sort of other type of payment like kiosk or unattended solutions all through our gateway. The cloud services platform accepts all of these transactions globally, and then it routes them on to whatever payment service that we need to send them to based on the type of payment that was presented in whatever environment it is. The benefit of our cloud services platform is that it's processor agnostic. The devices talk to our gateway first, and then our gateway talks to the different acquirers and processors. And in that case, it allows you to combine these acquirers and processors in different ways, right? So if you had if you were using a payment processor and they did debit and credit, but you wanted to use a gift card program that particular payment processor didn't support, we would be able to support that in our cloud services platform by combining the services together. So we could, for example, route credit and debit to Chase, and we could send gift card transactions off to ValueLink, right? So the big benefit of the gateway is the ability to combine all of these different payment types into a solution that really best fits your environment. Okay, our APMs also run all through this, so then everything is sent into one place and we can do standardized reporting. The gateway also supports our tokenization services. It's a processor agnostic tokenization service. So if you wanted to do tokenization in an e-com environment or even in a card present environment, but you didn't want to be tied to a specific processor, you could use our gateway, and we would tokenize the transactions as they came in on their first pass. And then subsequently down the line, you could use those transaction tokens as a representation of those card, but you could use them with any processor that you wanted. Okay, and then finally, the last benefit of our cloud services is that we can do dynamic routing with our cloud services platform so that you can support multiple payment processors if you want to. Some of our customers configure this in different ways where they send certain bins to certain processors in order to try to get the best rates. So our cloud services platform allows you to have that primary processor and that secondary processor. So if you want to do split routing, you can, or if you just want the very simple failover of, my primary processor goes down, but I still want to take payments, we can route you onto a secondary processor. Okay. VeriFone has lots of certifications in the industry for all of these different payment solutions that are out there. We have a lot of payment processors certified through our gateway and through our cloud services, and then we have a few of them that are direct to host as well. Okay, on the credit debit side, Through our cloud, we support almost all of the major processors that are out there today. We've got Chase, Elevon, Fiserv, Global, Heartland, TSYS, Woodforest, and WorldPay, right? We can route to any single one of those payment processors directly through our gateway, and we can change, from one processor to the other anytime we want to. Okay, on the direct to host front, okay, we have Chase, Fiserv, TSYS, and WorldPay current certifications with those. And these are Class B and EMV certifications that we are maintained with these processors. For gift card transactions, we have a number of different gift card hosts that we support. Through our cloud services, we support all of the major gift card providers that are out there, even the ones that are supported directly through the payment processors. And then we have some that can go direct to host, but it's in the direct to host world when we're doing gift card, because the terminal only talks to one endpoint, which is, the processor that we've certified. We're limited to whatever gift card functionality that processor can support. Today, we support the big ones in the industry, which are Chase, Elevon, Fiserv, and WorldPay. We support their gift card programs. Okay. Oops. All right, and then going back one, so I jumped ahead. Through check providers, if we have people who want to do check processing out there, again, through our gateway, we support several different check processors through, Chase, Echo, Getty, IntelliCheck. And really on the direct to host side, the only check processing that we're doing right now on a direct to host environment is through the Chase platform. Okay. Right now, a look into our roadmap so that we can see what devices are going to be coming out here over the next year. Okay. On the standalone front and the companion front, we're going to be launching the V660P and the V660C as countertop and portable devices. And then our small MPOS app terminal will be the E235, right? The E235 is like a small pin pad that you can use to integrate with tablets and other devices to provide a mobile payment solution. Okay, all of these devices will run either the Android stack or the existing Linux stack. So we'll run Linux on them for backwards compatibility, and then we'll drive Android through them for the future of our payment devices. All of these devices will be PCI 6 certified. So they'll meet all the latest regulations by PCI. Okay. On the multi-line and pin pad front, okay, we'll be releasing 3 new pin pads. The P630 is your traditional small pin pad. This can be employed in a standalone environment where it's connected to a countertop device as an external pin pad, or it can be hooked up to a POS system as an external pin pad. Okay, and then we have the M450 and the M425, which have the larger screens. The M425 is a device that will have a little bit larger screen than a P630. It will eventually replace the M400 as that smaller footprint device, and then the M450 will be the large screen device that we can put in lanes if someone wants that screen real estate. Okay, again, all of these will be PCI 6 certified as well. They will also all run either the Android platform or our Engage platform. Okay, and then finally, we're introducing some new unattended devices. Okay, the UX700 and the UX600. The UX600 is a smaller version of the UX700. The 600 is kind of intended to fit into the vending machine environment where somebody wants a small unattended system that they can mount onto a Coke machine or something along those lines. We built the UX700 for that. And then the UX700 is the big screen version of that. And it, the only difference between it and the 600 is just the size of the screen. Okay. Now the UX700 can also be used outside of an unattended device. This is a device that I really am pretty excited to see coming out because of its capabilities of being used in multiple environments. The UX700, not only can it be mounted and secured in an unattended scenario, but we can also actually use it as a traditional pin pad as well. So instead of using like a P630 or an M450, we could actually use a UX700 as a different type of pin pad for that. The UX700, it has a decent sized screen, but it has a small footprint where it could be mounted on a pole. It could be mounted on a stand in front of a customer. It could be mounted on a pause, or it could be mounted in a drive-through. So we expect to see, a lot of use coming out of this device, and it being, employed in a lot of different verticals. Okay. On the cabling front, we are simplifying our cabling solutions. Okay, so in the past, VeriFone has had hundreds of part numbers for various cables, based on either different length, different types of connectivity, different modules that they support. We really wanted to try to simplify that and go with a more modular approach to how we do our cables, so that we can reduce the number of part numbers that we have to keep track of and our customers have to keep track of, and inventory that people have to maintain. So we've gone with an approach where you have a dongle which provides your connectivity, and there's various different modules that, depending on the connectivity that you need, you can choose from. So like, for example, one of them may be a serial interface. The other one may be a USB interface. A different cable may be like a small switch where it has several Ethernet interfaces in addition to a primary Ethernet interface for the device. Okay. In the middle, you have a cabling solution. The cable connects into the dongle, and then it connects into the pin pad, and we've reduced it down to two different types of cables. Right, we have the M cable, which is for the multi-lane products, and we have the P cable, which is for the pin pad products. Right, these come in different lengths. So if you want a shorter cable, you can get a shorter one, or if you want to go longer, you can get a longer cable. But it allows you to take those modules, those adapters, and then connect them to any sort of pin pad, and the pin pad will determine what type of connectivity it has based on the module and the cable that it has. And then finally, we've standardized on one power supply that will drive them all. So we only have to inventory one power supply. This power supply works with the orange dongles, and it will power the devices, regardless of what type of device it is. Okay. This cabling solution works with our Engage products, and it will work with all of our upcoming PCI 6 and new products that we have coming down the line. It is somewhat compatible with our backward compatible with some of our older products, but at this point, due to PCI reasons, we're end of lifing some of our traditional payment platforms. So really, this cabling solution is looking for our Engage products and forward. Okay. All right, and at that point, this concludes my presentation of all the VeriFone products and solutions that we have available. I'd like to open up the floor to any questions that you all may have that I can add.
If anyone has any questions, you can put them in the chat.
I guess that's a resounding, you did a great job, and no questions. Easy enough.
Yeah, easy enough. Well, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to our counterparts at DCCSupply. If they have any questions, they can reach out to us here at VeriFone, and we'll be happy to get you the answers. And hopefully, there's a product that there's out there that meets whatever needs you have.
Awesome. I appreciate it, Bill. Thanks a lot. It's gonna run into my stuff real quick, and then we'll let everyone go.
Okay, I'll stop sharing.
Release that screen. I'm gonna go to mine. All right. So just pulling up my website now. So now that we've got VeriFone completed, basically last week I reviewed the stands for DCCSupply and some other accessories that might go with the product. So I'm going to do the same here for the VeriFone product. So what I'm showing on my screen is the Supply website, you might have noticed that Discount Credit Card Supply, we're kind of rebranding to DCC Supply. It's easier to answer, easier to type out in your emails, all that. When you go on the site, you can go into the countertop and you've got detailed by VeriFone, by PinPad, multi-lane wireless, and then the bundles. And then there are stands associated with them. So if you want to pull up all the VeriFone PinPads, old and new for just terminals, so you can get the breakdown. And then we have a line of stands as well, which we call DCC stands. Now you can purchase them for your customers, or you can send your customers directly to purchase these products. You can then also, if you don't want them to see the terminals on this site, we have a separate site called DCC Stands that just has stands. And so if you don't want them to see all the terminals and stuff, hey, this is just a site that just shows the stands and accessories associated with it. And so from an overview perspective, this is kind of what we have. We have a low, a standard, a tall, a fixed. We've got a VESA solution. We have a freestanding solution, and we also have a drive-through solution. So I really want to show you my drive-through solution. This was in production before COVID, and then clearly COVID. This was something that we needed, and this is the third version of what we have there. It's a full tilt, and it's a different plate. This plate can be swapped out for any device, and so we've got a full tilt, and this pole can be any length we want. We have this is an 8-inch, which I guess would be, don't know why we call it an 8-inch, but there's a 15-inch version as well. So it's slightly longer. And in addition, we have so that's the drive-through piece. My camera is on. Yep. Then you have the VESA solution. And the VESA is for your monitors. You can then put this next to the monitor so that the device is secure and next to the monitor. We are working on a new solution in which this device will also be able to swivel around to the customer facing. So this is all merchant facing. And you can also use this. This piece is a universal piece. This universal piece here is something that we do a lot of with these special mounts here, which you can put in any custom solution, whether it be a kiosk or on a wall. We get asked all the time, hey, we want to mount it here. We need it to go 90 degrees this way and 20 degrees this way. Not a problem. We can do quick fabrication of them. And so here's one of the pin beds. What's up?
You're showing your screen and not yourself.
Okay, got it. All right, now I'm back. All right, so, okay. Thank you, Leslie. All right, back. So my screen was showing, you couldn't see that, you can see me now. All right, let me just do a quick review. So this was the drive-through mount, which is 8-inch or 15-inch. And then the VESA solution here, which goes again on the monitor. And this is the one that we're going to be swiveling both ways. And then, here's your basic simple stand. We have a lock system. It's a cable lock that connects from the device that has the security lock hole on it. And it goes through here and then inside here, and it locks into this hole. So it's a cable that connects directly to it for tether. And those are a really good seller. Not every device has a hole on the device for it to connect, but most all VeriFones do. This is our low-end product solution. It's a fixed product. Basically, we call it fixed in that it doesn't swivel, doesn't tilt. It's just pretty simple. And it's just a lower cost solution. It comes with glue pad, or you can screw it down. And as you can see, here's one that is a freestanding in white. A lot of them we do have in white. And we have the rubber pads. So if they don't want to screw or glue down to a marble or wood or whatnot. I saw one the other day. It was like a tall stand, but they had screwed it down to a big piece of wood, which makes sense. I get it. Most of the VeriFone products, we have silica plastic covers that cover the keypad. This was our #1 seller during COVID. We're still selling them. We also have the screen covers that protect that. Here's the full M400 protector screen cover. So why are they still buying them? Because the screen covers were never for the people; they were always for the devices. We saw a lot of stats where people were replacing devices. IT departments were replacing devices at their franchises, one a week. You know, they might have a 2,000 location franchise with three per franchise, and they have maybe 1 or 2 a week. During COVID, they were spraying the devices with oven cleaner, whatever they had, and the devices were going bad. And so it was never about the people, it was about the devices. And so they're still using our covers because it literally protects the device from the dirt, the grime. And if that device goes down, the cost of replacing that device is huge. I mean, taking it out of service, swapping it out, overnight replacement costs, all that. So it does make sense, especially also if you can do the screen protectors. As we know on our phones, those screen protectors make a big difference. Another line DCC has for this is our carrying cases and our spill covers. We have the spill covers and the carrying cases. So we have carrying cases. So here's a carrying case for the V400. Basically, it comes with this with a nice long cord with a screen here. And a lot of people don't like the screen per se because the reactive, as we know with the regular phones, the reactive is maybe a little slower. So, but it's more secure. So we came up with what we call the universal. Huge fan of this one. This is a universal case. You just put your device in here. Let's call it a phone right now. You put your device in here, and the belt has 2 clips on it, so the wait staff can get it on and off quickly, and it has a buckle in the back. So this is great for all wireless devices. And if you have a chain that would like to have it, screen printed, we can get them screen printed as well, with whatever they want. That's up to them. Usually about $1.50 or so per device to add the screen printing to it. And the final thing I want to talk about from DCCSupply perspective, we have all this equipment on hand, and we have encryptions now. VeriFone has remote key injection for a lot of this, and they have most everybody's encryption. If they don't have your encryption, I would say, hey, listen, let's make sure that they do. So a lot of the PCI 5 and on, all encryption needs to be through what we call in the clear. What's that mean? That means that if you have a VX820, VX805, all the older devices, I can encrypt it here, not a problem. Meaning I'm literally plugging it in. But for the newer devices, it has to be in the clear. And in the clear means that it has to be over that cable. It has to be encrypted over the cable as it goes into the device. An additional encryption. So we're doing a lot of these PCI 5 and 6 encryptions are remote. And so it's important that your encryption shows up at VeriFone so that you can do the remote key injections. As part of that, one of the growths for DCCSupply this year is the pig. So this is the pig. And the pig is a personal inventory group. And that's basically where we host your equipment here. And so that we can deploy for you. If you can see my screen now, you can see that you send in the orders and we'll do the deployment for you, the downloads and all that. And keeping the equipment here is no cost. If you want to buy it in advance, That's the key here is you buy enough in advance and then it sits in your pig and you can deploy right away. And so if you're interested in something like that, let us know. That's what we call our pig. So we're really pushing that right now. Other than that, on the VeriFone side, if there's any other questions or whatever, we're hitting a little early here. So let me know. I'll be sitting tight. And Leslie, if you want to unmute everybody, if they want to jump in and make a say something, let's do it. Thanks everybody for coming. Appreciate it. And I hope you got something out of this today.
Hmm.